All right, strap yourselves in because this deep dive is going to take us straight into the heart of Formula One.
The world of Niki Lauda.
Niki Lauda. And, you know,
What a story.
exactly. I mean, beyond the speed, the victories, which you had plenty of,
Yeah,
this guy's life, man, talk about a wild ride.
it's a wild one.
Let me tell you, had some stuff I didn't even know about.
Oh, it's fascinating.
Yes, so much more than I thought.
And you see this independent streak in him
Right from the beginning.
right from the start.
So born 1949, wealthy Austrian family.
You'd think, right? Set for life, easy street.
Yeah, silver spoon kind of deal.
But then he gets the racing bug.
And how did the family take that?
No,
Not exactly thrilled about little Nicky wanting to be a race car driver.
not quite the career path they had in mind.
So what does he do?
He basically says, see ya later, to the family fortune.
Really?
Yeah. Starts working odd jobs
Wow. To support his racing.
to fund this dream.
That's wild. I mean, this guy,
He even uses the family name to get bank loans to buy his first cars.
hold on, he used the family name after they basically told him to forget about racing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that caused some tension.
I bet it did.
But, you know, he was determined.
You got to respect that.
Oh, absolutely, to do it his way.
And that kind of shows that business savvy he had later on, right?
Definitely. You can see it from those early days, you know, going from obscurity in Formula 3
Yeah, working his way up.
to actually paying for his own seat in Formula 1.
Wait, he paid to race.
He did.
Like paying to play your own gig.
Exactly. Just shows you how driven he was.
Unbelievable. And then there was that story about BRM, right?
Oh, yeah. How he got onto that team.
Yeah, how does he pull that off?
Well, let's just say he promised them a sponsorship.
A sponsorship.
A sponsorship that didn't exactly exist.
He just made it up.
He did. All to get a shot, to prove himself.
Talk about guts, right?
Oh, tons of it.
That's amazing.
But yeah, imagine the pressure to deliver after that.
So he's hustling, he's taking these crazy risks. Then comes 1973 Monaco Grand Prix.
That's where things change.
Big time.
His performance there, it gets noticed.
By who?
Enzo Ferrari.
Enzo Ferrari himself. But why Lauda? He wasn't exactly known as like the speed demon, right?
Exactly. That's what makes it so interesting. Ferrari saw something different.
Intriguing. So what was it about Lauda that caught Ferrari's eye?
His approach. It wasn't just speed. It was this methodical, almost calculated way of racing.
Thinking several steps ahead.
Yeah, he was thinking about the whole race, not just the next corner. Managing the car, knowing when to push, when to hold back. Very smart. Earned him the nickname, the computer.
I like that. Not flashy, but it fits.
It does. And with Lauda on board, Ferrari goes from, well, not great,
Cool.
dominant, winning races, championships, the whole 9 yards.
The dream team?
It was. And then, 1975, he wins his first world championship.
At 26.
26 years old. Cements his place in history. Proves Ferrari right.
Amazing. Didn't he also break a record at the Nürburgring around that time?
He did. First guy to break the 7-minute barrier on that track.
So you have this incredible talent, achieving incredible things, and then 1976, the Nürburgring crash.
It's the moment that defines his story.
It's hard to even talk about it, knowing what happened.
I know, but it's such a crucial part of who he was.
To really grasp it, we need to set the scene. Lauda was at the top of his game.
Completely dominating the 1976 season.
Had a huge lead in the championship.
On track for his second title.
And then, August 1st, during the German Grand Prix, it all changes.
He loses control of his Ferrari.
Mechanical failure, they think.
Yeah, most likely.
And the crash itself.
It was horrific. The impact, the fire, other drivers trying to pull him out.
It's hard to even listen to accounts of it, you know?
I know, it's tough.
The injuries were just devastating. Burns, lung damage. He even received last rites.
It's a miracle he survived.
And what's even more incredible,
Is that he came back?
6 weeks later, to racing.
6 weeks later, he was back in the car.
That's insane. Most
Yeah.
people wouldn't even be out of the hospital by then.
He was racing with visible burns, still recovering.
His willpower.
Unbelievable. He finished 4th at the Italian Grand Prix.
4th.
It's astonishing. And then there's the rivalry with James Hunt that season.
The stuff of legends.
It was. Back and forth, intense pressure, culminating in that final race in Japan.
Where Lauda decided not to race.
Yeah, the conditions were too dangerous.
He put his safety over a potential championship.
He did.
Hunt wins by 1 point. I can't even imagine what Lauda must have been going through at that moment.
It must have been a whirlwind of emotions, relief, disappointment.
And his relationship with Ferrari, it wasn't exactly smooth sailing after that.
But this is just the beginning of the story. Well, we've got his comeback in '77.
And the dramatic exit from Ferrari?
Let's just say Enzo didn't take it well.
I bet he did.
And then there's Lauda Air,
The airline, right?
the airline. And, well, that wasn't all smooth sailing either.
Lauda's life was never boring, that's for sure.
Not even close.
So Lauda Air, it wasn't all champagne and caviar, was it?
No, definitely not.
There was that crash in '91.
Yeah.
Tragic.
One of Lauda Air's Boeing 767s crashed shortly after takeoff in Thailand.
Oh, wow.
No survivors.
That must have been just absolutely devastating.
It was. He called it the worst period of his life. Imagine that,
Yeah.
Feeling responsible, he'd risked his own life racing. But this was different. These were people who trusted his airline.
Yeah, and I mean, he wasn't the kind of guy to just sit back. Right?
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
He had to get involved.
Deeply involved in the investigation, working with Boeing, even used a flight simulator, tried to recreate the condition. Yeah. Determined to find out what happened.
Wow. Most CEOs would just kind of let the investigators handle it.
Not Lauda.
No, not Lauda. He had to understand.
Had to know. It's that need to get to the bottom of things.
A technical mind.
A computer, remember.
That's right. He wasn't going to be satisfied with just like, oh, this is probably what happened.
Nope. Needed concrete answers.
And that kind of leadership, it inspires confidence.
I think so. People knowing that you're not going to shy away from tough questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what happened to Lauda Air after the crash?
It eventually merged with Austrian Airlines.
Okay.
And Lauda left in 2000.
So another chapter closed.
But he wasn't done with airlines. He started another one.
Really?
Niki in 2003. Later sold it to Air Berlin.
So the entrepreneurial spirit was still burning strong.
Oh, yeah.
But Formula One, I mean, that was always going to pull him back, wasn't it?
Like a magnet.
So he returns, but in a different role.
Early 90s, he's back as a consultant for Ferrari. And get this, he was instrumental in bringing Jean Todt to the team.
Jean Todt, the mastermind behind the Schumacher era.
The one and only.
Wow, so Lauda's still shaping the sport, just from behind the scenes.
Exactly. And then there was his time as team principal for Jaguar Racing.
Right.
That was 2001, 2002. Short-lived. Not the most successful, let's be honest.
But hey, he tried.
He did. Never afraid of a challenge. And it shows that his passion for Formula One, it never really went away.
No, it didn't. And then the move back to Mercedes.
2012, non-executive chairman. Masterstroke.
That's huge.
He convinces Lewis Hamilton to join the team.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
Domination. 6 consecutive championships.
Lauda's fingerprints are all over that success.
Oh, absolutely. He helped create this winning culture at Mercedes.
That no-nonsense approach, right?
Cutting through the BS. Invaluable.
He always spoke his mind, didn't care who he annoyed.
And that's what made him so respected. Drivers, mechanics, team bosses, everyone in the paddock.
A true legend, on and off the track.
Absolutely. Sadly, his health, it started to decline.
Yeah, the kidney problems, right?
Years of issues. 2 transplants.
Wow.
One from his brother, one from his wife. And then in 2018, lung transplant after a bad infection.
He went through so much.
He did. But even with all that, he stayed involved in Formula One.
That's incredible. Just shows his strength, his resilience.
Never gave up.
He passed away in 2019.
At the age of 70.
Leaving behind one heck of a legacy. What a life.
It's really incredible, isn't it?
3-time world champion airline entrepreneur, commentator, key figure in Mercedes' success.
I mean, and he did it all his way.
Yeah, always.
That directness, that determination.
Never back down from a challenge.
Spoke his mind no matter what.
He famously said, "You cannot win a race on Saturday." What do you think he meant by that?
I think it really sums up Lauda's whole approach. Qualifying's important.
Sure.
But for him, it was only the beginning, the real race. Sunday. That's where champions are made.
So it's about the bigger picture, not getting caught up in the moment.
Exactly. Consistency, strategy, being able to adapt.
Thinking long term.
You might get a head start, but it's what you do over the whole race that counts.
And that philosophy, it wasn't just for racing, was it?
It was how he lived his life.
Taking on Enzo Ferrari, rebuilding his airline after that tragedy.
Guiding Mercedes to those championships.
Always looking ahead, never letting setbacks define him.
Always finding a way to come back stronger.
Niki Lauda's story, man, it's a testament to the human spirit.
Overcoming adversity.
Achieving greatness.
It reminds us that success isn't just about talent or luck.
It's about hard work.
Dedication.
Belief in yourself.
And if you want to dive even deeper into Lauda's story...
Yeah, what do you recommend?
The movie Rush.
Oh, yeah, I've heard good things.
Captures that rivalry with James Hunt perfectly.
1976 season.
The tension, the drama, it's all there.
I'll have to check it out.
Even if you're not a racing fan, it's a great story.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the life of Niki Lauda, a legend who will never be forgotten,
His legacy lives on.
inspiring us.
Never give up on our dreams.
And as Lauda himself said, take a calculated risk that's quite different from being rash.
Wise words.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.